Hi, Laurie, Shin, Joanne, Valerie. Hi, Barry, Beverly. How are you? It's a cloudy, sunny day. Right now, it's cloudy. We're in the same village that you have seen maybe a couple of times. We're going to visit an 84-year-old lady. By the way, something that happens for the first time is people here are required to take a COVID test for 3 days in a row. It never happened before. This is the first time. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Hi, Valerie. It's your first time. I'm in a small village in southeastern China of Anhui province. It's a mountainous region. There are many hills around. The sea level here is about 1,000 feet. Let's say 300 meters on average. This village used to see 1,600 people. Let's say 30 years ago. Why 30 years ago or 40 years ago? Because China, back in 1970s, was still in the Mao's era. And the Cultural Revolution ended in 1976. Then, quickly after, a man called Hua Guofeng in power, Deng Xiaoping succeeded. And he initiated the reform and opening up. So that is, let's say, 1980s. A lot of reforms and privatization in a lot of industries, especially in 1990s. And also the Chinese economy ran in a fast lane after 2000 to the present day. But now I'm in a rural village in relatively developed region of China, which is a southeastern part of China, pretty close to the coast, to east coast. You can drive here in 3 hours to see the East China Sea. And the closest metropolitan city is Hangzhou. That is known for its West Lake. West Lake is the UNESCO heritage. How far from Shenzhen are you? Very far from Shenzhen. Shenzhen is in southern China, Guangdong province, very close to Hong Kong. So my area has nothing to do with Canton province, Shenzhen, Hong Kong, nothing to do with it. If you take an airplane, it takes about 2 hours from here to reach to Shenzhen area. Now I'm showing you the surrounding. This is the building the lady lives in. It has actually 3 stories. In the second floor, there are very small rooms, low rooms. Later, I can show you the interior of the building. This is a side door. You can see on the pediment the original Qing Dynasty painting. Then, the right characters over the picture were added in Mao's era, and the 4 characters say the prosperity of the country or the motherland. the prosperity of the mother country or land. Look, the cracks. There are only 60 people living in this village right now. Compared to the original 1,600, 60 is only 4 out of 100. We actually came here to visit this lady. We passed her house a couple of times, and we conversed with her a little bit. And yesterday we came to kind of make an appointment with her, and brought her some rice. And this morning, after we dropped off our children, 2 children, and we also bought him a piece of tofu. 你好，吴奶奶。吴奶奶，给你打声招呼啊。你好。你好。This is the goddess of longevity for today. 85-year-old lady surnamed Wu. 吴奶奶，您要不可以简单介绍一下自己吗？比如说，我叫什么名字？我今年多大了？我不晓得讲。哦，他不会讲普通话。不会讲是吧？我不想读书过。他没有读书过。没有读书过。Yeah, I asked the lady to give us a brief introduction about herself in Chinese Mandarin, or maybe in local dialect. It doesn't matter. I mean, as long as she's willing to say something. And she said, I'm not good at talking, and I can't speak Mandarin well. I didn't go to school. I'm not good at that. So in that case, let me give you some introduction about this lady. She's 85 years old, and her name is Wu Chunyu. Wu Chunyu. Wu is her last name, the family name, and Chunyu is her given name. And Chunyu, these 2 characters actually mean in Chinese spring rain. Spring rain. Yeah. It's a very poetic and a beautiful name, actually. Yeah. Another very tidy and kind lady. I mean, you can find safety not just in numbers, but also in age. And now my wife, who is originally from this village, is talking to the lady in local dialect. And my wife is an important help for me to do this kind of interview. 兰兰
Hello.
好。
她19岁就嫁到这里来了。
19岁是吧？
对啊，她是关山人。
The lady was married to a man in this village when she was 19 years old. From a nearby village. I'm going to share a picture with you of this lady. And look. Wow, this time I can see the picture instantly. You know what? I was not able to see the pictures I shared before. But this time I just I can see it right now. Look, this is the picture I'm sharing is the lady back 11 years ago. In the year 2011. 11 years ago. Well, it was not taken by me. Actually, I just ran into this picture the other day when another man in his 70s came to visit us and asked me to help him sort out the pictures he has taken in and around this village for him. So then I found some interesting pictures about the people here and about this village. Upon seeing this picture, I just saved it in my own laptop. I mean, because this lady, I met her a couple months ago, and And we kind of knew that we would come back to talk to her, have an interview. So today I'm sharing that picture with you. Yeah, 11 years ago. Look, it is the same location here. What does it say on each side of the door? Oh, the Chinese spring couplets. The characters are written on 2 pieces of red paper. And usually there's also a small piece up there. The 3 pieces all together make up a decorative, thing at the door with an auspicious meaning. Why? Because these Chinese characters carry good meanings. For instance, here it says, good luck on your head and everything. Let's say 100 things happy. While the other one says, a lucky star shining high for your entire family to be happy. All right, this is my translation of the cuff. 阖家欢乐. The top 4 characters mean the entire family, be happy with the entire family. And now let me point further up for you to see the intricate carvings on the entablature of the building. There are some old buildings in this village that looked like 100, 200, or even 300 years old. That could go back to, if a building, let's say, is 300 years, that could go back to Ming Dynasty, the second to last feudal dynasty of China. Well, this piece, I would say, is the most intricate and complete piece of carvings I find in this village. Let me go this way for you to take a better look of it. See? Yeah, this is a typical entrance to an old building household in China. All right? And I can find some symbols on the carvings. I'm not sure if you can see all that well. There are pumpkins, bats, and some buildings like somebody's garden, a bridge, and some flower and branches. In Chinese culture, pumpkin is a very auspicious symbol or a vegetable, which could mean a lot of children. Why? Because a pumpkin produces a lot of seeds. And then you know what? A pumpkin is also sweet. That means life is sweet. Yeah, in addition to that, a pumpkin is very full. It looks stout full. That means life is full-bodied. A lot of meanings out of a pumpkin. Well, a bat means luck or fortune. Simply because in Chinese language, the pronunciation of the character for bat sounds like another one that means fortune, luck. In the US, we have pumpkins also. Yeah. Pumpkins also have an important significance in the US culture for your Halloween, Thanksgiving, right? All right. So now let's go into more details of this lady's life. And they are talking. The lady this morning didn't go to the COVID test. And that's a personality. Because she thinks, for what? For what you do it like that? So she didn't go. I mean, that makes sense because look, she is 84 years old and she doesn't go anywhere. Actually, she stays here pretty much every day. No cases of COVID in the village. Joe, how have you been? Excuse me. I have not heard a single case in this village. And the lady said her husband, who actually passed away 13 or 14 years ago, used to tell her that when there was a male visitor at home, you were supposed to prepare him a cup of tea and a piece of a cigarette. So funny. And the lady herself doesn't smoke. She said yesterday she does drink a little bit baijiu, the Chinese vodka. She drinks a little bit. And last time when we met her down in the villager seat, which is about 1 hour away if you walk, 20 to 30 minutes away if you drive. But first of all, before you can get on the car, you have to walk still from here to the parking lot. Yeah, in, let's say, 10 minutes. And last time when we met her down in the villager seat, she was hanging around and she also bought 2 bottles of Chinese vodka, the baijiu, and brought home. But of course, when she went home, she was taken by somebody in his car. What will happen to her? No cases COVID in the village. Oh, no. What will happen to her? Laurie? Nothing serious, nothing meaningful because she doesn't go anywhere. She's 84 years old. If it were me, people might take it more serious. But anyway, universally, you could just figure that you won't be that serious. You won't take all seriousness with an 84-year-old lady, I guess. All right. As they are talking, I'm going to show you the rooms and the facilities she has on her estate. She has 2 kitchens. This is one. This one isn't really used. And the lady said this one is for her son. By the way, talking about children, the lady doesn't have any biological children. She doesn't have a child, a biological child. She has 2 adopted children, 1 son and 1 daughter, both adopted. And the man, we know him. He's in this village. We actually met him when we came up somewhere to do the COVID test. And this is the main kitchen in use for the lady. Let's have a look inside. With only 60 people in the villages, there are talks of people being moved to another location. All right. Look. Hey, 兰兰，你帮我问一下，为什么他这个灶上盖的这个麻袋啊？编织袋，怕脏啊？啊。Yeah. This kitchen is definitely in use because I saw it. I saw her cooking here before. And but right now, in the morning or overnight, let's say, it's covered here with some kind of a fabric bag, right? Just to keep it clean in case there's like dust and things coming down from the roof. So let me show you the upper part of the kitchen. There's firewood, tree branches, and some stubble. Useful thing to start a fire for this kind of traditional adobe kitchen range. Every household here has this kind of a kitchen range. In addition to a more modern kitchen range on natural gas. There is no natural gas pipe coming to this village, so people have to use a natural gas tank. And every time they have to, after the natural gas is used, they have to take the tank to a designated spot quite away from this village to replenish the tank. This is the table. Well, I see a very old picture here. I never noticed it before. The lady on the left should be her. Not sure how many years ago. I will ask. 兰兰，你问一下吴奶奶，她厨房这边有张照片，里面一个男的，一个女的，是不是她和她老公啊？以前。We have the impression of a leaking back in time. A leaping back in time. Yeah, Valerie. 啊？他和他弟弟。Wow, this picture has this lady and her elder son, elder brother. 多少年以前啊？兰兰，打扰一下，多少年以前？
这个男的拍个照片。哎呦，那就
忘记了。I kept asking just now how many years ago the picture was taken, and my wife helped ask, and the lady said she doesn't remember exactly how many years ago. Look, this is another side door. On the other side. The writing here in Chinese character isn't as good as those on the other side. It's very squiggly, childish. It says, "Long life to people." Her brother lives near her.他弟弟现在住在这儿吗？他弟弟现在住在这儿吗？应该第一些在那里啊，关山啊。Joe, her younger brother lives in a hill nearby. It's actually the next hill that I can point to you right now. There's a path. Look, there's a path over there. And it is the path that people can walk on to the top of Guanshan, the hill they just talked about. And it's where her younger brother lives now. And this part is for livestock, some pigsties, and there's enough space, right, for chickens and ducks. Pretty big. And at the end, you can see also the toilet. What I love about your culture is that the fact everyone is your grandmother or grandfather. All right. Some spring onions, pepper, ground in pots. Some vegetables, like lettuce, are ground here on the floor. And there you can see bok choys. This dried bamboo branch is put here to prevent dogs from treading on the vegetables. There are a lot of unleashed homeless dogs because a lot of houses are deserted. Some are permanently deserted. Some are temporarily deserted. I mean, because of migrant workers, some they have moved for good, and some they just go out to a town or city to work for for the time being, for weeks, for months, depending on the need of the project or the work. All right, before I show you more in the main building, let's go back to the lady and talk a bit more about herself.
她19岁嫁给这个老公，对吧？嫁了在一起50多年了。她的老公脾气不好，她嫁过来，她老公脾气不好，就要打她，打她那个脸肿肿的，那头发不是很长吗？卷起来这样拉，把她拉，就是脾气不好，老是要打她，3天2头打她，真的是不容易啊。说她不能生育，不能生孩子，但是我现在我说，如果是一般的女的性格，你反正也没孩子嘛。你走掉了，你重新再找一个老公，说不定就生了呢。不一定是你的原因，也有可能是男的原因，知道吧？生小孩不一定是你的原因的。所以说，我说他太不容易了。能够在这个家里面就这样的一个条件，这样一个环境，能够这样忍受下来一辈子，你说他不容易吧？
Valerie, there is snow here. It snows quite heavily in winter. And just now, the lady recounted some old stories of herself with my wife, and my wife just helped me translate that the lady, because I told you, she doesn't have any biological child. Maybe because of that, after she was married to this a man in this village when she was 19 years old, for the remaining 50 more years until her husband passed away, she was abused many times by her husband, manhandled. And my wife just said, who knows whom should be responsible for the situation of no children. I mean, it might be the man's side problem, Well, that man, her husband, kind of just blamed all on this lady for not having any child. Well, anyway, the lady now has 2 adopted children, and the man lives in this village. Being a rural village lady, she is actually quite a careful one. Look, very tidy. The shoes. Yeah. And just now, when my wife tried to sit down side by side with the lady on the threshold just over there, and she offered to give a piece of paper to my wife as as something to make sure the pants of my wife didn't get stained by the dust on the threshold. So very careful, very considerate lady. So persevering, amazing lady. Yeah.
她后来你看，她受了她老公这么多苦嘛，她后来老公走掉了，说再去找她不会去找了，因为已经吃过一头苦了，再去吃一头苦了不可能的，是吧？再去吃2遍苦的没必要了哈。
Yeah, and her husband passed away 13 years ago. After that, there were some people who persuaded the lady to go into another marriage. Well, she didn't want that because she had it from the first marriage.
他以前唱戏的，他下坝啊，还有那个朝阳啊，还有那个很多地方村里面，他都去唱戏的。
他就是以前喜欢唱戏，是在社团里面的嘛？
对。
他以前还做什么活的？
他金蛋。
喜欢唱戏。
出卖戏。
绍兴戏。
绍兴戏、庙剧、粤剧。他唱戏的，后来因为嫁到这来以后嘛，就做农了呀，因为这个记不住了哈，因为要干活。
等于说19岁以前，他就是很多时候唱戏的，他是啊。
他长得很漂亮的，你看他现在气质都这么好。
Yeah, they told me that the lady before the marriage, before she was 19 years old, she was good at traditional Chinese opera performance, and she traveled in her troupe around places to perform the traditional Chinese opera. But after the marriage, she just had to be committed to the marriage life, taking care of the family and the husband and the husband's family. So then no more. 娱乐不起来。
我让他唱一句，他说他娱乐不起来了，唱不出来了，
太久了，也记不起来了是吧？记不起来了啊。
记错哈。
So my wife proposed the lady to maybe sing a little piece of the traditional Chinese opera, and she said she did it she did it too long time ago, many years ago. She now can't remember.
沙家浜都会。
沙家浜啊，红灯记。青少年法庭会洗手。
还有。
他的那会儿婚姻是包办的吗？
人家介绍的。
人家介绍的哈。Joanne? That's right. Her marriage was arranged one. The common currency for people in her age. Back then, people in China, their marriages were basically all arranged. Well, sometimes, it's an interesting topic. People will say that today, even in a city like Shanghai, there's no arranged marriage. I don't quite agree to that. I mean, there are still arranged marriage in China, but in disguise. In disguise. I mean, people, to begin their romance, I would say, it's kind of they enjoy freedom. Well, but as things gets more serious into like the formal and final marriage, it still comes down finally not to the two individuals in the romance relationship, but to the two families. And with the deep involvement of parents and even grandparents, if the grandparents have a say in the family. In that case, I wouldn't say that it's completely free. Even in Shanghai, not that. Children have to be still quite obedient and or practically listening to parents. Those days, yes, right, Xin. Those days.
他爸妈走掉40多年了。
40多年了，父母亲都走掉40多年了。
他爸妈走掉40多年了，那个时候我说那你爸爸妈妈要心疼死了，你这样子被老公打。他说那他就是不走，他打死他都死在这里，他就不走掉，他就不愿意跑。
他不愿意跑。
不愿意跑。所以他爸妈也没办法。是吧？
但你的意思是，他爸爸妈妈就是有点希望他不要忍这个气，是吧？
那肯定啊，老公肯定不希望好你老公。
Yeah, this is another interesting piece, and my wife told me that the lady's parents, her own parents, passed away 40 plus years ago, and they kind of persuaded her, the daughter, to kind of leave or divorce, but she didn't want. She didn't want. I mean, this is just out of something very primitive in Chinese culture, that it's the concept of loyalty between a wife and her husband. I would say that people are quite deeply bound, especially those people from old days, are very bound by this kind of traditional, cultural genes. Be loyal to the husband no matter what. No matter what. I know that. I've heard a lot.
他的话我觉得有时候挺有意思的。他说他骨头被他老公打硬了，所以他活得这么长寿。他妈60多岁就走了，骨头被打硬了，所以身体好了。年轻打了不少哎。
Yeah, let's enjoy her sense of humor. She just said to my wife that one of the reasons she's able to live to today, she's 84 years old, is because her body and her bones were hardened by her husband's abuse. It was good she could talk to her parents about her situation, even though she couldn't leave. Yeah, that's right. And actually, I mentioned a couple of days ago that we might visit another lady who is 79 years old. But what's special about that lady is she had altogether 12 children. And you won't believe it, all daughters. You won't believe it, all daughters. Well, now she has only 5 daughters because 7, for one reason or another, all died. She has only 5 daughters. So we mentioned that lady. Maybe we would, visit that lady. But yesterday we actually met that lady right here as we were talking with this lady. But she didn't want to appear in any interview. Yeah. So in that case, we won't do that interview with the lady I just talked about. You know what? So I talked about with my wife the difference between these two ladies at one point. That is the lady who has now 5 daughters and before altogether 12 daughters. She, when talking with other people about children, likes to complain more. I mean, she complains that children are not grateful enough for her being a mother. Well, this lady is different in that she, every time when the topic is raised about her children, even the children are not her blood children, likes to say that they treat her well. They are good children. Yeah, that's the difference. Yeah.现在我到里面去拍一下哈，你们再聊一会儿。Okay. So let me start filming the interior of the building. I showed you the facade and now it's the inside. Good space. I mean, I told you that this building is one of the most well-preserved old buildings, houses in this village. The first floor is spacious, tall ceiling. There used to be a plaque here with 4 Chinese characters painted on it. Well, this is common in a traditional Chinese house, a mansion. They have a lot of plaques. The most important one that shows maybe, the personal value of the owner usually hangs here at this place. But that one was stolen. The lady said it was stolen a couple of years ago. As a matter of fact. I like the ticking sound of the clock, a pendulum clock. When nobody talks, when it's quiet, you can only hear that, the ticking, the passing of the time. There's a TV set. A portrait of her husband. This is a screen wall. There's a separate space behind the screen wall. A small one though. The staircase here leads to the second floor. I can show you a little bit up there. It's quite steep. Well, the lady actually, her bedroom is in the first floor. Not hard to imagine for convenience, safety. And the second floor here has some small rooms. This reminds me of the Tingzijian rooms in Shanghai. In Shanghai, in the French concession, in the former British settlement, there are some, quaint houses, and called by Shanghainese as shukumen houses. Well, they usually also have 3 floors. And those shukumen houses, when you look at them from outside, they look pretty much like the Western row houses. Well, each family lives in one section that has 3 floors. Usually the second floor has very tiny rooms. Usually those rooms are located above a kitchen and below a balcony. Not very good condition. Well, those families who could own in Shanghai those shukumen houses, I would say back then were pretty affluent, or families with status. Usually those small rooms in the second floor were leased to people who just came to Shanghai for business, for cause. Yeah, and later I can show you those the 2 small rooms I was just talking about. There was similarity in Shanghai shukumen houses. Local old people, they like to prepare the coffin before they die. You can see that. It's just a very practical thinking. This side you can get the sunlight. What did her husband do? Were they considered to be well off? Your camera work is really, really good. No, Harry. Great to know, Jane. 兰兰，他先生以前是做什么的？然后他以前先生工作怎么样？他先生以前是公安局的呀。是公安局的。Oh, Mata, yeah. I asked your question on your behalf, and my wife told me that she actually reminded me of that because my wife told me before. And the lady's deceased husband used to be a pretty well-being guy because she actually was a senior police officer who worked in the county level. Yeah. In that case, I would say yes, the family at that time was a pretty well-being. But I also heard that later, her husband was dismissed from the post, and therefore the family status started to decline. Yeah. And the reason for her husband to be dismissed from the post, I heard that it was because of his personal life style, degenerative lifestyle, right, in Chinese term. All right, I'm going to show you, here, that one. There's a small effigy here of Chairman Mao. I never noticed this one, really hidden in the corner. Huh. Tiny window. This one, a calendar. Let's have a check when this calendar was printed. Oh. Oh, 1992, I guess. 92. Well, have a look. The fashion of China back in 1990s. Yeah, that's very true. Well, this man, I guess a lot of overseas Chinese are pretty familiar with. This man, I know. His name is Fei Xiang from Taiwan, but she looks, almost Western. Yeah, this guy from Taiwan. And she was a hit back then. She also appeared in a Chinese annual variety gala for the Chinese New Year celebration on CCTV, the Chinese Central Television. It's made him a hit across China. Okay, 1992. All right, now let me go down. Well, on the way coming up, look, there's a small platform on the left leading to some side rooms hidden in the second floor. Here. Yeah? Yeah, here's the room. Actually, there's at least one more here on my left, but the door is closed. This is a typical hidden room between the so-called first floor and the third floor. The building from outside looks like a 2-story building, but there is actually a hidden second floor. Okay, let's go back to the first floor. Look, got to be careful. But this is really similar to Shanghai old houses. But don't take me wrong, not really the old houses in the non-classical areas, because in Shanghai, when you talk about old houses, which basically I would say small, but there are still a major difference between classical old houses in the French concession and the British settlement from other old houses that just located in a plain local regions. Yeah, not classical. Okay, now we are back to the first floor. There's Happy Buddha. So happy. He is encircled by a bunch of kids. There's always a threshold in an old building, a solemn old building for you to step over. Don't put your step on it. In Chinese culture, stepping on the threshold is considered impolite, disrespect. So just make sure you step over it. This is her little courtyard. Does she have grandchildren? 兰兰，她有孙子孙女吗？ Wow, great. There's water now. 哈，有水，现在有水了。You know what? These days, it's not easy to get water from the tap. The area has suffered a severe drought. And I told you that they usually let water out maybe 1 hour, 2 hours every day. So there's water now, and the lady is wasting no time to store water in all the containers. Yeah. 对对对，现在接水。This is the window of opportunity for them to get water. Hurry up, yeah.
他要接水，因为他怕一会儿水就停掉了。
就1个小时还2个小时？
开水开哪个灯的？不知道。万一没水。
有些时候比较随机性的哈，讲不清楚的。
现在有水，他赶紧接。
有水赶紧接呗。
对，他就这样接嘛。
接嘛。光这1个不够，再多接点。哦。
一般你汤匙不够吧？
再多接点。他有孙子孙女吗？
有一个孙子的。
有一个孙子的。
有钱儿子呀。
啊。All right, she has 1 grandboy, a grandson. She has 1 grandson. That's it. 好，坐吧。没事，接吧，还有一段时间才能接好呢。
妈妈，你看，她腿不舒服啊，这个腿痛。
This morning, the lady, after she woke up, she washed herself before she went to her small croplands to water the vegetables. There's no rainfall these days. You have to water. You have to carry your water to the spot to water. She has a pet dog in her company.
这里水是拿来浇菜的，种菜哈。和浇菜。
要浇菜，对，生活也要用。
生活水里面有，里面它装了2桶水。
哦，里面已经盛好了。对。
一个是能对吧？
奶奶晚上几点钟睡觉？
几点钟看过啊？
如果他6点多钟也有看，7点多钟看。
6、7点钟。
6、7点钟。
不规定的。
She goes to bed between 6 and 7 o'clock. Another lady who is 90 years old, 93 years old, we interviewed, she said she goes to bed after 5 o'clock. To us, it's afternoon, but they go to bed at that time. Yeah. I mean, this is a rural China. When it's getting dark, really there's not much you can do. And it's pretty quiet in the surroundings. All right, great. Sun is coming out from the back of a hill nearby. Sun is coming out. What does she feed the dog? Oh, Barry, yeah, I remember you asked a similar question about what the dogs here usually eat, right? Actually, yesterday we saw her over there in where I pointed. Sun and air drying some small slices of pumpkin. And she told us that she did that to prepare the food for her dog to eat in winter, not now, because there is a redundance of pumpkin. But to save the pumpkin and prepare it for winter, she sun and air dries those slices of pumpkin. Then in winter, she can use those slices of pumpkin, boil them as food for her dog. Yeah. And also, you know what? There are some homeless dogs here. Recently, some homeless dogs got taken away by a team who is specialized in taking homeless dogs from, streets, right? And now we see actually less homeless dogs. Well, those homeless dogs, we used to see some homeless dogs always hang around where I live. And sometimes when we have leftover food and some like bones of pork, we usually give those dogs if we have some. Or sometimes if we don't have any meat, we'll just give anything that the dogs is willing to eat. Yeah, and I would say that dogs here also live in a very basic condition, because you know what, one of my neighbors who raises a cat often comes to my courtyard to find food, because that man in his 70s doesn't even take very good care of himself. I mean, let alone his cat. So sometimes it's us. We just give them food, and that's it. Very basic living also for dogs and cats. What does she live on? Does she get a pension? All right. 兰兰，帮我问一下吴奶奶，她现在退休金有吧？有没有什么社区补助什么的？
有个100多块吧，核心。你们家有退休金不？600。哦，600。
600啊
？600多。
600多啊？是的吧？每个月600多。
一个月600多。
600多是因为人家老更为好，是因为她老公是公安局退休的。
啊。
我这里那个养老金为800块了一个月。
哦，一个月800块是吧？哦，他是800块。
100。
不，800还多少啊
？100多呢。
哦，养老金是100多啊。
嗯，100多呢。100
多养老金加600多她老公的退休金。
啊。
这婆媳熟肉，那婆媳一个月
30块钱补助，因为你80了。
一个月30块。
哦，80岁的人补助啊。
那这个不要。
So here is the composite of her pension, let's say. Well, it has 3 parts. The first part is the so-called pension, because her husband used to be an officer, and which is actually a help to the lady now. And she gets out of that part some 600 yuan per month. This is the part 1. And part 2, she gets an additional 100 yuan something, in addition to part 3, which is a subsidy given by the government to people above 80 years old, which is 30 yuan per month. So if you put all these 3 parts together, she gets 800 yuan, I would say. She gets something like 800 yuan per month as the entire pension program. 800 yuan. Some $100, 115, something like this, dollars. Mm. 多接一下哈。 Yesterday, the lady was so nice. She gave us 3 pieces of zucchini that she grows on the vine here. There are 2 here. Zucchini. We love zucchinis. Yesterday we put zucchini in maybe in a soup, I guess. Yeah. Oftentimes you also stir-fried zucchini, sliced zucchini with scrambled eggs. It's a very common dish in China for people to make use of zucchini. Sliced zucchini stir-fried with scrambled eggs. It's very simple. In the end, just to put some salt. It's something palatable. I love it. Yeah. Would you consider bringing your children to visit her? Yes, Barry. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes my children, on weekends, they just walk around with us. Yeah, we got to see, yeah, old people or any people in this village. Yeah.
那个是等起马上我去走个马瓜，一个混乱的很，而且舒服个。
Sun just came out 10 minutes ago. It's actually over 9 o'clock. Oh no, 9:30 local time. 9:33. Sun just came out 10 minutes ago. It's because there's a hill, look. 对，因为我平时是喜欢练英语，然后呢也是学英语，教一点英语，所以说的话呢就是用英语采访。对。The lady just now was curious at how I speak English. I just told her that I have always liked in English, and I want to practice my English. And also, as my job now, I teach in English. That's why I speak English. That's why I'm doing this interview in English. Okay, guys, look. There are some more writings here interesting I want to share with you before we kind of finish. Look. 热爱集体. It means love teams. In that case, teams could be also considered the collectives. Love collectives, love teams. Thank you, Laurie. Thank you, Andy. And there on the other side, it says 劳动光荣. It means to work is an honor. To work is an honor. All right. So maybe we will come back to this lady another time to talk a bit more. But today, let's just finish here, and you see the auspicious Chinese words at the door. I hope you can rub off some luck on it at the end, right here. And I want to thank the lady for her time today. 吴奶奶，谢谢啊。今天的话，我这边直播的话，可能差不多就到这里了，谢谢你哈。
给道歉了。
谢谢你。然后的话，要不您打个招呼？
您打个再见。
再见。再见。The lady just said 再见 to you guys for goodbye, and also thank my wife.
Goodbye.
She's really good at people. All right, so yeah, God bless you, Charlotte. God bless you. Let's finish here, and also it's my turn to say goodbye. Take good care. All right. See you next time.